We encounter tons of information every day. Some topics take more time than we expect, or are difficult to retain after we learn them. However, with some techniques supported by science, it is possible to speed up this process and make new information more permanent by learning new information effectively. Let's go straight to the techniques without extending the time to 10 minutes with empty words. The Feynman technique. Developed by renowned Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman, this technique is based on 4 simple steps that aim to achieve both lasting and effective learning. Scientific research shows that the technique can be used to learn almost any subject and concept in depth. Here are the steps. 1. Select a topic and gain knowledge. Once you have chosen the topic you want to learn about, you find your sources and start learning about it. While this first step may seem so mundane, there are some common mistakes, and we should pay particular attention to them. Many people distract themselves by multitasking when learning a new subject. For example, checking and responding to a text message on the phone while reading a book is a distraction. When the brain learns new information, it first encodes it, then stores it, and recalls it when needed. In other words, the process of recall is directly linked to whether the brain stores the information long-term or short-term. If you are not fully focused when you are studying a subject, the brain cannot encode that information effectively. Therefore, for a truly effective learning experience, you should try to eliminate any distractions, even for a short period of time. Another common mistake is to drown in the details without understanding the overall logic of a topic. The correct method is to first understand the general structure of the topic after choosing it. How many main parts is this topic divided into? What is its general message? What will I get when I learn about this topic? Pre-scanning with questions like these prepares your brain better for learning. In short, it is best not to move on to the branches of a tree before getting to know its trunk. 2. Explain the topic in a simple way. Simplify the topic as if you were explaining it to someone who knows nothing. Imagine yourself as a TEDx speaker or a teacher. As Albert Einstein said, if you can't simplify a subject enough to explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't fully understand it either. There is no need for complex expressions when explaining. Just recognize the areas where you struggle and focus on those areas. 3. Identify the parts you don't know and fill in the gaps. Once you have identified the parts you have difficulty with, revisit these areas and fill in the gaps. Work until you no longer feel a lack of information while explaining the topic. 4. Improve your expression and retell. This step is similar to the second step, only now you are explaining as someone who has a full understanding of the topic. This time, simplify it by using different metaphors and analogies. Expressing information in different ways will help your brain retain the information in long-term memory. These 4 steps are the foundation of the Feynman technique, and by following them, you can gain a deep understanding of any subject. The second most effective technique for retaining new knowledge is Hermann Ebbinghaus's spaced repetition technique. This graph shows Ebbinghaus's learning curve. The curve describes how fast a person learns information and how much they forget over time. As you can see, we quickly forget the information we learned from the first day. Assuming that on the first day, we remember 100% of the information we learned, on the second day, it drops to 80%. If we do it again on the second day, the rate goes back up to 100%, and this time, the information drops to 80% for 2 days. With each repetition, this interval gets longer and longer. If you set the repetition days as 2, 4, 7, 14, and 30, after the 30th day, the information is largely committed to permanent memory. Imagine that you used the Feynman technique while studying for the exam and supported this method with spaced repetitions. You would definitely notice the effect of these techniques. Sometimes there are subjects that we understand better when we practice rather than when we read. So, if possible, you can do some simple practice on the subject you are studying. Not everyone has to be a wise person. Once you are familiar with the right information and methods, your chances of succeeding in all sorts of things are greatly increased. In this video, we talked about effective learning techniques. In the next video, I will talk about a special method used by memory champions for strong memory. Join us to stay informed. See you soon.